That was quick. That was so cute.
Did the screen freeze for him?
Yeah.
Man, always technical difficulties. Elena is gone. Anyway, good morning, everybody. We're having technical difficulties as per usual. uh, apparently, I guess KP is having connection issues. Nevertheless, we're gonna go ahead. You know what? We don't even have the questions. Tamaya, did he put the questions up? So we don't have that.
I don't see him.
All right, so look,
Nigga,
are you here?
I'm here. Hey, look, I was
Finally.
right, y'all. I was right, y'all.
The question.
Sorry, y'all. Listen, it wouldn't be Wednesday if we ain't had technical difficulties. I swear.
Man.
Oh my goodness. All right, apologies. The Joan, it froze when it was at 2 seconds. I had my cup of orange juice. I was excited to show y'all, but I'm sorry. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Elevation team here. Wake Up Wednesday. We have a special guest, Tamaya. Tamaya, how you say your last name? Is it Venice?
That's my middle name, but yes.
Oh, all right. Well, I just say Tamaya the coach. Tamaya the coach is with us. As usual, we'll be going over our 3 topics, and then we're going to dig in a little bit with Tamaya about being a female entrepreneur, the ups, the downs, how she got started and how things are going. So, sorry for the mishaps. I was stuck in meta mode. All right, here we go, Shanice. Boom. Okay.
Wait.
So let's say Wake Up Wednesdays with the Elevation team. The first question: besides paying your credit card debt, how do I up my score? Everything is paid on time. Let me turn on the comments too.
So assuming there's nothing else negative that's left on the profile, the next best thing to do to increase the score, you have to add credit age. So you're going to do one of 2 things. You're either going to wait for the accounts to get older, or if you have a trusted friend, and please let this be a friend or a relative, or a partner that has a credit card that has an aged history with a low utilization, have them add you as an authorized user. Do not have somebody, like, don't go and buy a trade line and stuff like that or whatever. Depending on what the plans are in the future, it could cause red flags to be thrown up. So you want to avoid those. Make sure you know the person, authorized user, account, aged, anything aged. I'm going to say 2 times older than what your credit age is, or if you can go beyond that. So if you have 2 years of credit age, look for somebody who has 4 years or more. I would personally go for 7 years or more. That's me personally, just to average your credit age out.
Okay, and that's good. Y'all know I usually try to one up Shanice, but that was actually a very great answer.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so we'll move on to the second one. We actually late too, so I can't lollygag too much. We got we had the delays, the freeze delays. All right, so the second one, and this one's, I know, a tricky question. It's not really a tricky question, but the answer is not going to be what people want to hear. So, how long does it take to improve credit?
Is this like credit repair? This
Well,
seems like a credit repair type of question. So like if
well,
you're
so
improving your credit.
Well, the forums, I ask all over the place. I ask on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. So like, I couldn't tell you where it came from, but 9 times out of 10, it's a credit repair question.
Oh, credit repair is going to take on average. I guess it depends on the if you're doing it yourself, or if you're hiring somebody that knows what they're doing, and then what their particular strategy is. If it were if you were doing it yourself, and I guess it really depends on how much you personally know about the laws and how much work you're willing to put into it. But plan to see, I guess 6 to 12 months if you're doing it on your own. It could be less, or 6 months. I'm gonna say around 6 months if it's a company. And I don't know. That's a hard answer, because I mean, I've had people, before I added litigation as an option, I had people that I had who were with me for over a year. So it's gonna vary. I've heard some people take 2 years for credit repair. You know what I mean? But I don't know how consistent they were. So the consistency is gonna matter. If you're doing it yourself, it's going to matter. If you're hiring somebody that knows what they're doing, all of that stuff comes into play, but it ain't short. Don't look for 4 months and then be like, oh, now I'm going to be in the 700 or 800, because you have to still build the profile after that, even after you get it all repaired.
Right. And like how you said, it's weird. It's crazy. It's two different answers or two different directions you can go, because like you started, is it credit repair or is it brand new credit? Because those are two different things. Like if you don't have anything derogatory on your report, it's so much easier to build it as long as you pay on time, get approved for credit cards. I mean, I'm trying to think of like cheat codes. I'm always thinking of the best ways. Let's just say if you do it the slowest route possible, if you go get one credit card. You get one credit card. You pay that credit card on time, all the time, never late. Utilization stays under 10%. You only have one account. So that's going to be slow because, one, you only have one account. It's good that you only had the one inquiry. The utilization and payment history are great. No derogatory marks, but that one account is the only thing that is going to be growing your score. The total accounts isn't high enough to where it should be.
Right.
Let me think. Total accounts, and then what else? Oh, age, and the age is literally just moving 1 month at a time. So to get your age to 5 years, it's going to take you 5 years. You're not getting added as an AU. You don't have multiple accounts to strengthen it. You may not have any installment loans. So it's several different factors that go into it. From brand new to 750, I mean, without being added as an authorized user, I can see it taking at least a year. I'm talking about fresh. I mean, you definitely could jump up to a strong 600s quick because of, having positive reporting trade lines and things like that, payment history utilization. But if you're truly trying to hit like 750, because everybody's good credit isn't the same. To me, good credit now that I'm, more elevated than I was 5 years ago, to me now, good credit is 750 or better. 750 to 800 is good to me. 800 plus is great. Anything under 750 to me still needs work. Don't get me wrong. You can get a house with a 680. You can get a house with a 705, but to me, it's like I want certain things that I know are going to cost 30, 40, $100,000. I know I'm going to need to go ask the bank for this money. So I want to have the best interest rate possible. And to do that, I think the minimum to get the best interest rate is 720. I mean, but if you're at 750, you're safe. So for me, we're looking at it differently, because before, like I said, 5 years ago, my goal was just to hit the 600s. I thought hitting the 600s was good. You know, I was like,
Man.
I get a 6, I got a 612 credit score, man. We good. I got good credit. And now the now me is laughing at the then KP because 614, bro, 614, you still getting them top interest, them top percentage interest rates. You ain't doing too much better. You know, you might get approved for a Capital One or a Discover card, maybe. You know, the better cards, you might, maybe Federal might give you 5K, but there's a huge difference between 620, 650 and 750. So, you know, it just depends on what is good for you. But yeah, we touched on it. All right, so this is the third question. This one was actually way too long to put in the chat, so I'm gonna read it off. It says how to begin the process, and I'm guessing that means the credit repair process. This is weird. Maybe this person was talking directly to me, and I need to reach out to them. But let me read it to you. It says how to begin the process. I see a lot of people talking about repairing, but no one seems to tell you how to do it. I have suffered identity theft, and I'm now in the low 500s. It is embarrassing, and without a starting point, it will remain there. Help me, please. So yeah, let me. I might have to go ahead and shoot that person an email because that was a direct ask for help. But how would you help this person, Shanice?
So the identity theft, I'm gonna say claim. I guess I would have to know the person or talk to the person individually. But when people tell me, oh, I've been a victim of identity theft, I instantly, because of where I am as a business owner and dealing with a lot of people like this, I automatically right off the bat do not believe them, simply because a lot of people have, whether they know it or not, but they signed up with companies that would commit, you know, fraud on their behalf to quote unquote repair their credit. And it ultimately, it messes up the consumer. So if they truly are a victim of identity theft, I would give them a recovery plan, because there is a recovery plan for it. You know, filing a police report and things like that, not filing a police report like on the credit history, but you know, covering the accounts that were actually included. You know, I guess, I don't know. I think I would have to look at the person's profile, because, you know, some people, when they hire these companies, they throw everything, including student loans, in identity theft. So in order for me to give the advice that I really want to give, I would have to see what I'm looking at. But, you know, I'm quick to be dismissive of identity theft or alleged identity theft victims, because, you know, people, when you're desperate and you're trying to get your credit improved, people will go for anything, and they don't understand the severity that has with them later on down the road. It's hard to come back. You know, for the most part, they might end up playing the waiting game, which is waiting until those accounts fall off. Has it been, you know, 7 years since the date of last activity for each of the accounts? Has any payments been made? You know, things like that. If you want to repair it, I don't think there's too much repair you can do. You know what I mean? Like, to claim identity theft and then not be a true victim, you know, it is hard. But even if you are a victim, it's stressful. It's hard. I just give them a recovery plan, to be honest, you know. But telling them that, oh, you can dispute all of these items, I would never tell somebody that. I would never tell somebody who was a victim to do it themselves. Hire somebody that knows what they're doing. Hire somebody that's going to be honest with you, that's not going to mislead you, that's not going to, you know, say, sign up, I can help you, or I'm going to do the best I can. I don't need, you know, the best you can to, you know, with a monthly cost. Tell me what the best strategy is. And if you can't help me, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, just be honest about that. But for the most part, that person might end up playing the waiting game, you know, until those accounts fall off. It's going to suck. But they can build credit in the meantime, which is getting accounts, working on their payment history, just working on payment activities period, because the reason why they, a lot of people suffer from bad credit is because they have poor spending habits. So outside of credit repair, what can we do to help strengthen your profile? Because once those accounts start to fall off, the credit score will jump up. But if you're playing the waiting game, you're just basically creating credit age. But yeah, I feel bad for a lot of people, because it's a lot of people that are in a situation like that, where disputing, unfortunately, won't help them.
Yeah, for specifically for identity theft, like you stated, it's a huge difference when it's real identity theft, because then you actually can go that route. But I mean, we've seen it plenty of times where it's not really identity theft, and the person you trusted to help you fix your credit is running it as identity theft, would actually hurt you more than what you signed up for. Most people, we don't know. Like I just spoke on myself the 5 years ago, KP. Let's just say Shanice, this is not her practice. I'm only using this as an example for everybody that's listening. But let's say I sign up for Shanice's credit repair company, and she runs me through what is called a credit sweep. That is an illegal method of getting everything removed from your credit profile, because to the desperate, 5 years ago, I didn't care how you cleaned up my report. I didn't care. I just wanted it gone. I owe 6 or 7 people. My utilization is crazy. I got student loans, all these things. What can you do to get rid of all of it? And that's the easiest route that most people take, because it's very easy. I'm not going to explain the process.
Easy.
Right. It's like, so for me as an unknowing consumer, I pay Shanice X amount of dollars, and she does that for me. And now it's looking like, oh, my credit score was a 478, and now it's a 600 with nothing there. It's 2 things wrong with that. One, there was no legit identity theft. So when those items come back, they're probably going to stay forever. Well, I won't say forever. They'll stay for the long term, the 7 years, the 10 years, depending on what they are. But not only that, I now have my account flagged for identity theft. So if I do go to apply for real things, real credit cards, real car mortgages and loans and things like that, I'm getting declined left and right, because they're like, oh, well, you were already hit with identity theft. How do we know that this is really you this time? Or right. Now I'm going to have to send in way more documentation than needed. I'm going to have to get on the phone with the credit bureaus every time I get my credit pulled. And it's a hassle. Plus, this is the key plus. Shanice touched on this. I have no education. All you did was clean everything off for me. You didn't teach me anything. So you didn't help me prevent it from happening in the future. The goal of a credit repair specialist is not just to clean up your credit report. We are also teachers. Some of us teach financial literacy. Some of us teach you more than others in regards to credit. Some of us teach you how to sue the bureaus, how to sue the debt collectors. It's so much more than just getting a higher credit score. And when you take the proper routes, yes, it takes longer. Don't get me wrong. It takes longer. Like she said, I think the longest client I've ever had was 14 or 16 months. Mm-hmm. So it definitely can be very, very, very time consuming, but it is very, very, very rewarding as well, because throughout that 16 months or 14 months, that specific client would always get on the strategy calls. They would always ask questions. They would always hit me up or hit up the team if they wanted to go apply for something new and ask what's the best strategies. They would always ask which credit card should they pay down first. They learned these things. So by the time they finally graduated, yes, it took you a year and a half, but by the time they graduated, I can almost 100% guarantee that they will not mess their credit up, because they know all the things that they can and can't do. And it's going to prevent them from doing it in the future. As where if I was just to do a credit sweep, what's stopping them from just running up the bag on all their cards again and just shooting everything back to zero? So it's definitely a huge difference. So guys, please be careful when you do reach out to these credit repair specialists. I mean, all of us here, with the exclusion of Elena, all of us here have credit repair companies, but we all run them differently. None of us are better than the other ones, but we all run our companies differently. So when you're looking for a credit repair company, do your research.
Mhm.
Ask previous customers or ask current customers or ask them yourselves, what do you offer? Can you help me blank? How long is this going to take? If they use the word guarantee, if they give you specific timelines, if they're doing any promising, they're lying. We can't do none of that stuff. I can't. The hardest conversation for me to have is for somebody to say, I'm trying to get in a house in 6 months. I cannot guarantee to get you in a house in 6 months.
I won't even take those people on as a client because the timeline is chaotic.
It's like certain people have certain expectations because they don't truly understand, the depth and the process of it. So when I'm talking to a client on a Zoom and they're like, KP, look, I know it's October. We're trying to get in the house by February. Well, if you're not already at a 650 now, I can't promise you. And even if you're at a 650 now, I still can't promise you because as a credit repair specialist, I'm only in control of removing the derogatories. I can't even guarantee that they'll be removed. 1, 2, I can't prevent you from maxing out all your credit cards. You could be at a 650 now with 6 credit cards that are all 0% utilization. Max them all out. I could get you 3 deletions, but you maxed out all your credit cards, and now your credit score drops because your utilization is at 100%. That's not my fault.
You'll get blamed for it, though.
Of course. We know that. We get blamed for it, but it's like, that's why we can't give you guys guarantees. So it's so much more into the credit repair process than just the scores. And trying to stress that it's hard. It's very hard. Like, those are deep conversations. Can you do this? Yeah, I can try. What I can promise you is that I promise you I'll print these letters out and I'll mail them for you. I can promise you that. I can guarantee that I'll mail them. I can't guarantee that they'll get there. I mean, certified, that's the guarantee. We can at least track it and protect, that it gets there. So we do have methods to try to put more insurance on what we do. But at the end of the day, I can't guarantee anything. TransUnion, if TransUnion don't want to delete it, we got to go a litigation route. We might have to sue them.
I was finna say, I'm finna sue them because I'm waiting on my attorney to call me back right now. I'm finna add on something else. I'm like, I need all the money.
Before we get to our special guest, I want to tell you guys. So Shanice, and this is my personal life, right? So just randomly checking my credit profile like I normally do, I spotted 4 Wells Fargo inquiries that were not mine. I wasn't it wasn't identity theft or nothing like that. My credit profile is looking pretty normal. But I noticed those and I'm like, yo, I didn't apply for anything for Wells Fargo. So I called them before I do any letters. And I'm like, yo, y'all got this or whatever. And they're like, nah, we didn't pull anything. Okay, here we go. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, Shanice, this is what's happening. So, my partner, she loved to sue. She immediately, this is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. So I type up my letters. I send it over to them. Wells Fargo is now getting ready to settle out with me, for X amount of dollars. I won't disclose how much, but Wells Fargo is now getting ready to pay me because somehow they still won't tell me how, but somehow I had fraudulent hard inquiries from Wells Fargo on my credit profile that they could not identify. They, over the phone, they told me that it wasn't there. I had to fax them copies of my credit profile highlighting where those inquiries were. And I sent them in like, yeah, they're here. And then, I have a special rep with them now. He's been helping me back and forth. So he's definitely been very helpful, even though they're at fault. But things like that hurt us. And we don't understand the power we have as consumers, as credit repair specialists to fix that. But this process has been going on since May. I'm only fighting inquiries, and I've been fighting them since May. So the end result is I'm going to get a nice little check. But imagine if this was a derogatory account. I can't guarantee that it's going to be removed. I mean, well, I can guarantee they'll be removed now with the settlement. But that if you were a client waiting for me to delete this for you, are you patient enough to sit May no deletion, June no deletion, July no deletion? That's almost 6 months of back and forth with just Wells Fargo to get this cleared up. The end result is definitely satisfactory to me because I'm happy. Inquiries weren't hurting me that bad, but hell, if I get a check and get the inquiries removed, I'm ecstatic. So, I'm hyped.
I don't think people realize how lucrative inquiries are, for one, when you can prove it. And then people were like, oh, I got a 24-hour, 48-hour guide. And I'd be like, y'all are throwing money down the drain. If they're easily deleted like that, that was money.
I don't want it deleted in 24, 48 hours. I want it deleted in 6 months with X amount of checks.
Run me my check, right? Like, I'm like, I don't understand people. But again, it comes from, you know, people just wanting to quick sell everything. I just want to hurry up and, you know, make it look like I'm doing something. I don't care if it look like I'm not doing anything and every client that I have get a bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do what I do for notoriety. I do what I do to help my clients and help friends and stuff like that. You know, I want all the money. Or they want the money too, but you know.
We actually got a question. Sorry, Doc. It looked like he asked us about 10 minutes ago. I'm sorry, man. I didn't see it. It says, does a cashback credit card take a hit? Is somebody phone ringing?
Sorry.
Good. All right. It says, does a cashback credit card take a hit on the credit building side? So I guess he means when you you kind of got to ask it differently. So we're just gonna assume what we think you mean. I think he means when you first get a cashback credit card, do you take a hit on the credit building side?
I don't understand what it's asking. So is my brain, I don't think
I'll answer. Hey babe. I'll answer and then I will kind of break it down what I assume he's asking.
Okay.
So he's saying when you first get approved for any credit card for that matter, but he specifically said a cashback credit card, does it take a hit on the credit building side? You're going to take a minor hit for two reasons. Well, and again, this is situation dependent, but if you already have accounts and you already have age, you'll take a minor hit. You added a new inquiry, plus your age now has to reset to reflect that new account being added. So your age is going to drop, you know, depending on how it really depends on your age, because if your age is 20 years strong and you add a new 1 month count, your age can drop 10 plus years, just depending on how many different accounts you have, several different factors. But on the flip side, if this is your very first credit card, then no, because now your age went from 0 to 1. I mean, yeah, you got the one hard inquiry, but it's just going to go up from there. So your age has to grow. So it's kind of a double-sided answer. And a lot of these credit-related questions are going to have, double-sided answers, because is it from a rebuilding standpoint or is it from a just building standpoint? But
I feel like that was more from a just building. Like, listening to you, I feel like that's what that was. Like, because somebody who has 20 years of age or even 5 years, something like that, they're not going to be as, inquisitive. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, all right, they already got the game down. So yeah, I mean, a small dip, not that much. The thing that I like about approvals though, when you get approved for credit cards, the score doesn't drop. What is it? 1-2 points, something like that. I think 2 or 3 points is the highest that I've seen for credit card approvals. But when you get denied, 15 points easy. Smack you over the head every inquiry, within a certain amount of time.
And they don't play either.
Man, you get denied. So if you are applying for credit, if they have a pre-qualification tool, y'all use that tool. If you are, if your credit score is under 650, because the last thing you want to do is apply and then take a hit for 15 points. That's going to take you about a year to recover from. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. Like, I hate how it works like that. You're going to get a big hit if you get denied. So only apply when you know you can get approved for it.
I'm looking for the next one. I don't see anything. All right. Let's back out. Let's get that. Okay. Okay, so we're good. We got the questions out. We got the chat questions. So introducing Tamaya, the coach, everybody. She's over here in my face, but I guess over here on the camera. So introducing Tamaya. How you doing, Tamaya? I guess we have any preliminary questions for it, Shanice? We just go as we go, huh?
Yeah, like as per usual, on the fly. We
We
don't.
are very
This is
freestyling. We're very
unscripted.
freestyling. Yeah, we're unscripted. We need to name this Wake Up Wednesday freestyle because we don't have anything prepared usually.
Freestyle Wednesdays. No,
How you doing,
that's
Samaya?
exactly what it is.
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
I'm usually doing good until these two they jump me around noon, so I got about 13 minutes of peace left.
So basically, it's peaceful.
I'm peaceful, yeah. Okay, so we could just start, just get straight to it. So the questions they're gonna revolve around, being a woman entrepreneur and
Mhm.
your personal experience. So when did you get started?
So I got into the industry in 2019, and I started with an MLM called FES,
Woo-hoo.
Financial Education Services, and they changed their name to UE, I think. And I don't think they're active anymore. I think they got sued for whatever reason. But I started with an MLM.
Okay. So from the MLM to legitimate transfer, when did you go? When did you become your own separate entity?
So I became my own entity May 12th of 2021. I kind of jumped out of the window and did this whole thing. When I was in the MLM, they actually discouraged me from doing credit repair. They said it's too hard, just let them do it. I was making the money, of course, so they didn't want me to leave.
Right.
So about a month before I started the LLC and all that kind of stuff, I did something crazy. I quit my job. Then I found a mentor for credit repair. And then that same month, I made 2.5 times of what I made at my regular job doing credit. So it kind of popped off really fast and unconventional. I don't recommend you guys just out and quit your job like that
Oh
'cause it
no.
might not work.
It's not fun. It is not fun.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. So,
What were you
not having oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead. I
Oh,
thought
I
you
was
were
just
done
gonna
with that.
say, like, not having, like, structure or somebody to tell you, like, "Okay, you need to do this, you need to do that by this time," and you kinda rely on yourself, it gets crazy. So, yeah. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, what were you doing prior, like for your 9 to 5? What were you doing? What were you doing?
So, I worked for this European company, European-based company, and we sold like food service, commercial food service stuff. So I was basically the lead customer service, but I was making good money at that job for customer service, quote unquote. It was more like project management, but I was doing that for 3 years. And the crazy thing is, the day I got hired for that job, I was like, I'm gonna be gone in 3 years. And I left my job 3 years, and I think 5 months later, that's when I left that job.
And nothing wrong with that. Look, but like Tamaya said, y'all make sure your side hustle is bringing in at least twice as much as your 9 to 5 before you decide to leave. Some of us, like myself, aren't as fortunate. I actually got fired 2 months after I started my credit repair company. So it was for COVID reasons. It wasn't like I was doing anything negligent, anything. I was an electrician, so being a tradesman when US shut down, they didn't have any workforce. So,
Mhm.
that I was fortunate, I believe, to have started this credit repair company because if I didn't, sure, I probably would have went on unemployment and who knows how that would have went out. But okay, so we know what you did before. How has the road been? I mean, I know women have 100% completely different experience from men. So like walk us through like your first year. Yeah, I know you're over a year now. How was your first year? Like when you first got started, how was in fact, let's go to the first, let's do the first 6 months. The first year is probably gonna be too detailed. How do you feel the first 6 months of entrepreneurship was specifically, for you?
It was chaotic. It was being pulled in a million directions. It was making mistakes. I mean, I did pay somebody to teach me some things, which they did. So I avoided some mistakes. But just for example, like my contract when I first started, when I had that first month and I had all those people sign up and I did this crazy promotion, like it went ham, everybody paid cool, but I didn't put an end date on the contract. So I'm trying to figure out like, all right, when do I tell people, all right, you need to pay me some more money for me to continue without feeling like guilty, uh marketing, trying to figure that out, like just waking up every day like, okay, what do I need to do? Like constantly putting out like fires here and there. But as time progressed, certain things I learned to do to make things easier for my life, I was able to implement. But at first, like just being on different platforms and like having people have access to you in so many different ways and trying to keep up with it, it was too much. Like I was just letting people run all over me low key.
It's a headache. It's more than a headache. You can't even explain what we go through in the beginning. Like you put it into words as best you could, but we all know it's definitely more than that. It's a
Mhm.
lot, man. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Let's talk about mistakes. And you don't have to be direct. Please don't give any names. We don't do name dropping.
Mhm.
So in terms of mistakes like purchase, courses, mentorships, classes, automations, do you feel like you made any significant mistakes in the beginning that you wish you didn't?
Honestly, no. I don't, I mean, if you look at it, probably yeah, but at the same time, like I just feel like one, I have favor over my life, so whatever it is, it's cool. Like it's gonna work out. Even if I spent money on stuff and I didn't use it or I spent too much, that I like, I'm okay with that because I had to do what I had to do to get to the next step. And sometimes it don't work out, but I'm okay because I'm learning. I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. So I don't really feel like I have any mistakes. I know I bought a bunch of different like courses and things that I didn't necessarily apply. So that's like wasting money, I would say. But then also like probably a mistake would be not being put my foot down with people, like being afraid to tell them like, hey, no, this is not gonna work and stuff like that. I would say that will probably be my mistake, trying to be too nice to people. I didn't think I was that nice, but apparently I am like a little bit too nice. So I'm working on that boundary.
That's a thing. It's a thing because you'll overexert yourself. You'll give too much and not receive what you're giving. You could definitely be
Mhm,
too nice. Trust me, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. If you don't have a customer service team and you're doing it all yourself, for me, I won't talk for you, but I felt like I was obligated to make everybody smile. And in reality, I once you set your SOPs and you do what you have to do, and I do what I told you I was gonna do, it's not my duty to go above and beyond and step outside the box and
mhm,
make sure that you've eaten, dinner tonight and all, that
mhm,
I can only do what I told you I was gonna do. And then if
mhm,
that's not enough, I apologize. If you want a refund or what can we do to fix the situation? But I noticed in the beginning for me that a lot of times people take advantage of that, your niceness. It's like,
mhm,
oh, I ain't had to pay. She ain't made me pay last month. Let me see if I could push it another month. Let me see if I could push it another 2 weeks or figure it out because you're so kind. Yeah, I help you out. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. And then here comes month 3, month 4, they still ain't paid. And their credit is better, but they still ain't paying, and they gone.
yeah.
And it sucks. So sometimes you gotta put your foot down in the middle of nice. You know what I'm saying? You can
Mhm.
be nice, but you can't be a walking like a doormat or something like that. All right, so that's good. Mistakes. Now let's talk about the now you. How do you feel? How do you feel now? Let's just recap like your last 3 months. How do you?
Mhm.
What would the now Tamaya say to the then Tamaya?
Uh, so I still have some of those days where I'm like, all right, I don't think I want to do this no more. It's getting on my nerves. And then some days I'm like, all right, we can do this. It's cool. But what I feel right now over the past couple of months is the goals that I want to reach financially, and not just for the sake of making money, but to have fun, enjoy life, and put my family on to different things, right? The goals that I want to reach financially, I feel like it's time to start a new business. And any new business that I do want to start, I want it to be something that I can walk away from, or at least like be able to take my computer anywhere and complete the work and not have to be stationary. So that's important to me. Um, but with credit repair, I know that I don't want to be like this huge entity. At one point I wanted to, but I think it's is probably a little bit too much, like too risky. Once you get to a certain point, but I still want to keep it because it's based around everything. So it's always going to be there. It's never going to go anywhere. But I think it's like time to start thinking about what would be the next step once I get this business set up the way that I want it to be.
Cool. Now, one thing, this is me to you. Don't stress that too much.
Mhm.
We're, when I say we, I mean the Elevation Academy. We went through that as well. The further in the future you look, the less you're giving the now. And that's that. I do that a lot. Janice and I can tell you, it's like I'm trying to figure out how we can do the next tier and the next tier and the next tier. We haven't even finished the noun tier. We're trying to work on phase 6. We're in phase 2. Like it's good to have the ideas. Always look toward the future, but don't stay so focused in the future that you're not participating in the now. So that's just something that I hope can help you and anybody else that's listening. But yeah, that's that. Okay, so now this is a more direct question for women, because I know it happened to you and several others. Being a woman, how do you navigate? And I want to put in parentheses the weirdos, because we've talked about it before. I tell you all to friend as many people as possible and grow your network. But I know with being a woman, you encounter a lot of weirdos. How do you deal with that?
Okay. So I haven't told y'all this, but I just dealt with my first like real weird thing. Somebody texted my personal.
Before you say, remember we're live. So if it's gonna be too personal, you don't have to share it. I just wanted to make sure before you, because we take clips of this and that, and I repurpose them for other things. I just don't want you to be like, KP, why you do that? Okay. Good, cool.
No, but it's weird enough, but it's a thing that happens in so many other things that are happening in general. But it's weird. So somebody texted my personal and my business number like in a group chat and was sending like screenshots of my photos to me, commenting on my body parts. So I'm just like, this is wild. Yes. Yeah. So I'm like, I've never had anything like this happen before. But what I like to say to all women in general, get you a strap, be ready, know how to use it. I'm so serious.
I mean, you laughing, but for real, like
I get it. I understand it. I didn't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing at women, but it was just she was direct with it. She was direct. Get you a strap. Like she was direct with it.
Be ready so you ain't got to get ready, because anything can happen. But it's just crazy to me because when I think about, like, I know a lot of people who have registered their business online, mistakenly put their home address and stuff.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's real. So stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. That's all I'm going to say. And to the Mr. or whoever that was, stay where you at. Don't come over here. Don't come over here.
It's not an open invite to send DMs either, fellas. Please don't.
Yeah.
So I want to let I know a lot of people use it like they're like home based. If y'all please invest in a virtual address and keep your home address hidden, because and I think I posted a few weeks ago, like I'm like, y'all, I got a stalker. At first I was like, I didn't know who it was. I'm like, I was trying to pinpoint who it was. The reason why, like, everybody knows that I have a daughter, right? I won't post public videos or public photos. If you look at anything that I post of her, you'll see that it's set to just my friends. So whoever it is, they're like looking at public photos, sending me pictures of my kids that I've posted online and stuff, sending me pictures. Oh, you look so, beautiful in this photo and send me a picture. I'm like, this got to be somebody that I know. But no, this person was like, I looked up your address and is this where you work? And I'm like, oh, so imagine if that would have been my home address. You know what I mean? Like it is that serious. Once you get to a certain level, and I think like when you're starting, you never think of it like that. But okay, baby, that's fine. We really are surrounded by legitimately mentally unstable people who will go as far as to track you down. You know, I, on my business phone, I have this person is calling me every single day from a restricted number. You know, I've had hits put on me and stuff like that or whatever. And it's super intense. Like, and I don't talk about it to nobody. This is my first time ever saying anything about it. It's literally that serious. Like, I don't know what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Besides talk to people, but it is that serious. Like, you don't anticipate where you're going to be. So make sure you have yourself protected because it's scary out
Right.
here.
Yeah. And I have one more story too. I don't go out to networking events and I know I need to, but the very first one that I went to, I had on a name tag. And you know, they have this little mixer thing where it's like two truths and a lie, blah blah blah, and we do it, blah blah blah. And there's this guy, and he's like, "What's your name?" And I'm like, "Cause it's
He
right
touched
here."
you?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, your name," like I swear to, and I was like, the
Oh
one
yeah,
time I go somewhere and
that's
somebody.
wild.
Traumatizing.
So yeah, I mean, people are ridiculous, honestly. That's
Mhm.
why I fully plan on having businesses where I don't have to show up to too much. I mean, I know I'm doing the other stuff, but I'm trying to link with actual offices and work in offices when I do my other notary stuff.
Well,
But
what about for and I mean this applies to men as well. What about going to events with someone or people?
I
So
was with
like
people.
for me, you know, anything
Mhm.
I do, first I ask Jazz if she wants to come with me. If she can't, then I'll ask my brother. But I'm very extroverted. But even still, I'm not comfortable by myself. You know, if I go out of town, I don't want to be by myself.
Mhm.
I feel more comfortable with somebody with me. Even though I'm a man, it's like just having a level of comfort, having somebody there with you. So like for women, you know, obviously you are put in different situations than men are, but what if you did events and things with people with you? Would that you feel like that would put you more at ease, or how do you feel with that?
I was with people when it happened.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, they have no clue. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It could have been a
that
mess 'cause I didn't tell anybody this actually, but the people, the girls that I was with. But at the time, if I had to like told my boyfriend and he would have came, it would have been a big mess. I wouldn't have been able to go nowhere else.
right.
It's like, dang, you can't just have a regular life.
But no, that's and I don't even want to say those are rare because I don't know how often stuff like that occurs, but it's like stuff like
It
that.
happens a lot.
Yeah,
If they think that you're a nice or a bubbly personality, or if you just very approachable, it happens a lot more often than people talk about.
Mhm.
You know, I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about, anything unless their partner, is standing like right there and glued to them. And it's like, oh, okay, that's, Sharnice and, AJ. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, unless it's a situation like that, and, no, it's not going to happen. But when you're by yourself, like, and you're approachable,
Mhm.
people, some people don't respect boundaries. Like, I don't like being that close to people, especially since COVID, 6 feet away. Like, if I can reach my arms out and touch you, you're too close. Like,
yeah.
our fingertips should not even be in this
Yeah,
fingertip bubble space. Like, no.
We
I
that
agree.
COVID is definitely strong because we were at the same stuff. You know, I told you I went to get the credit card with them, and the cashier kept coughing, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't really want to touch that tablet. You just cough like 6 times, you know. And then it's for one thing, you know, even pre-COVID, cough in your elbow, cough in a napkin, cough somewhere.
Mhm.
She's open air coughing.
Mhm.
She turns her head.
Drives me nuts.
That's like one thing I can't stand is when people turn their head and cough this. But like, bro, you're still coughing into the
Yeah.
environment. Like,
And it's going out like this.
so
So,
that really hurt me. And then, you know, I'm sitting here. I asked her for a napkin, and she went and got me. I wiped the tablet off. But in reality, if I ain't spraying it with some type of disinfectant, all I'm doing is smearing germs. So
hmm
yeah, I get it. I'm just talking on germs. We ain't talking on weirdos, but Let's get back. Let's backtrack. Let's get back to the business. I mean, we pretty much, we asked a bunch of good questions. We know how you guys started, how you feel. Do you have anything that you would like to give to a new entrepreneur, brand new entrepreneur? If there is a woman that is getting ready to start her journey right now, do you have any advice you can give her? Specifically, I'm sorry. Specifically in your industry, so not like just entrepreneur, because I know all entrepreneurships are different. But a woman that is specifically starting credit repair today, what advice do you feel like she could use?
So when you first said it, I had general advice for anybody that was starting. And I'll still say that because it's useful for everybody. Get around people who are doing what you want to do, who are at a higher level, and get away from people who are negative naysayers, don't have anything going for themselves, don't believe in themselves, and want to bring you down too. As far as credit repair, it's hard to trust, honestly, because everybody's competition, when in reality it's enough people for everybody. Like
It's more people than we can handle.
You're right. So finding somebody that you can latch on to and they help you and they have good intentions for you and you have good intentions for the relationship. I don't know what you got to do. Pray. And
You
just,
just need
I
him to
don't
snitch
know.
on you. You just need him to snitch on you.
Because it's like, for me, shut up. For me,
Logging off. That's it. I'm done. It's my last broadcast. No more.
That's how we became friends, y'all. Man, Shanice's story.
It was you were admin or a moderator or something, and it was somebody else that we used to be cool with, and you were like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm tired. Be tired."
Funny story. It was a group. I was an admin in, and she had reported a post of somebody that I was friends with, and I just DM'd her, and I was like, because the post wasn't really a negative post, so I had messaged her like, hey, what caused you to report this post? And she was like, oh, my bad. I'm like, yeah, all right, snitch.
Like it was bad.
Somehow
I was tired, so leave me alone. Shoot. I'm over here doing what I was supposed to be doing as admin, which was no marketing, and I was like, this is a marketing post. And forgot where I was. Like, oh my god.
All right. There we go. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, you got any questions for us, or you got anything you want to just freestyle? Like toward the end, we kind of laugh. We talk about Missouri for a little bit, and we just close out. I'm surprised Michelle ain't popping here. Michelle or Charlotte, my Missouri birds.
Man,
always, man. One day I'm gonna actually visit Missouri. I don't know what's out there. I don't know what me and Jazz gonna be doing, but we gonna get out there.
If you want to hike, yeah, like come on. But
I mean, she hikes. I watch. I'll be sitting there at the trailer until she come back.
really good parks, but and you can look at the arch. Like, I mean, Missouri, though, it's not a lot to do out here. Like, I prefer Florida way more. It's more to do.
The arch. Well, I'll figure something out. Tony was in here commenting. Wow, weirdo. Oh, she was talking about the weirdos conversation. So that pretty much wraps it up. We covered our 3 topics. As I always do, I would like to apologize for anybody that has questions that we didn't touch on. Oddly, this week we actually got some Facebook and Twitch comments, so it's getting better. Elena did say that the Restream team was working to, I don't know what APIs they got to do, but we do have 2 different platforms that actually made it into the chat this time, so it's getting there, y'all. Fingers crossed. Maybe one day this year we can have all our streams, all of our comments being posted.
Is Restream just is it a new service altogether? Like,
got me. I mean, Elena told us about it, and I just downloaded it. I know several others have used it before. I like the different factors. You know, they give us the
Yeah.
background. We get the ticker at the bottom. We get our verbiage and all that. I just like everything that it has to offer. But you know, I don't honestly don't think it's that new. I mean, they sync with like 30 different other platforms, so you would think they've been here for a while. But that's it. We're good. Appreciate everybody for joining. Appreciate all the questions. Tamaya, we would thank you for being our guest host. And that's it. Wake up Wednesday. Hope you guys are woke. Peak of the week.